Welcome back to Pull Up. My name is Mason Young.
I'm Daryl Bahamontes.
We're here with Ryder Imbriani, high school water polo player, soon to be college.
Collegiate.
Welcome. Thanks for pulling up.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Obviously, we're glad to have you here.
Yeah.
We just want to know, get to know and explore the vast majorities of what's it like for different collegiate athletes. Obviously, we're basketball players. You're a water polo player. How did that jump from high school and into going D2 go for you?
Just the start of the jump, I've been training with a bunch of college players so far. I've had a 3-week showcase with the Biola University team. I got to say that jump from, that high school level to collegiate level is a lot different. The aggression and then just that want to win is a lot more.
What would you say separated yourself, from other teammates that you had at high school?
I just think my effort and how I wanted to win and how I wanted the best for our old team. And, just when we're talking about game scenarios, I'd say I'm a lot more creative than the pool. I find a lot more opportunities than, my other teammates. And I feel like I could really build up on any teammates I have.
And I feel like it's similar to basketball in that way.
That's pretty similar.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I feel like you're talking about creativeness. That's a big thing that I try to bring to my game, too. Because, if you're just doing the same stuff, you got to switch stuff up sometimes.
Yeah,
whether it's
college coaches are looking for people who
stand
think
out
outside the box.
Yeah.
They don't want the average guy who dribbles up the court, averages 30, does simple things. He wants to look for a guy who's a passer, a shot maker, doesn't just think about himself, thinks about the whole team
No, and absolutely, and it comes with the standard where you're not, breaking your team structure, where you're not doing whatever you want. But in certain situations, you could find advantages.
Right.
Because we talked about this on the last one, but college is a whole different scheme from high school. Obviously, we all went to high school together. We know how it is at public
especially
school.
now with the NIL money and everything that players are getting. It's a lot harder for high school people to go into college.
Yeah, it's you go to your college, everyone there is going to be serious about the sport.
No,
you know what I'm saying? Versus high school, you got guys, I might as well play.
Yeah.
The coach wanted me to
and
play or
that's
something. But
it's the practices are a whole different environment because everybody's there for a reason. You're not there because your parents are forcing you to play a sport. You're not there for your friends. You're there to win. You're recruited for a reason, and it's a whole different environment.
Yeah, 100%. Right. So Ryder, tell us what went into your decision to go to Biola, kind of the recruitment process. I know me and Daryl have been through something similar. So tell us about your experience.
So the Biola University water polo coach was at one of my games. I was talking to him recently about this. He wasn't supposed to be at one of my games. It was a coincidence. He already saw the players he was trying to scout, but he just decided to come watch another game. And I never reached out to him, but he watched one of my games. He liked what I put into the game, and he came up to me after the game. He was like, I love the way you play. Let me get your email. Let me get your number. Let's stay in contact.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what really kind of made me think I have a chance at playing collegiate water polo. That's what really made me want to kind of start reaching out to other coaches. So I started reaching out to other coaches.
Mm-hmm.
The Biola coach was the second coach I talked to. I was talking to the University of Redlands coach for a little bit.
Wait, I'm sorry to cut you off here. So before, you weren't looking to play collegiate water polo?
It never kind of crossed my mind. I knew that I wanted to just play as hard as I can, and if I got the chance to, then yeah, I'd love to play, but it was not something that I was, just really, really looking forward to. I knew I could, but that's something that, never really crossed my mind. I was kind of just more hoping to go to a really top university with academics and get a nice job. I'm not saying you can't do that with sports, but that's kind of all my focus was.
And it kind of shows you how far just effort can take you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You didn't expect it, but now obviously you're going to get some money to help you. That just shows it rewards that. But anyways.
No, yeah, absolutely. So I get the Biola coach's email, phone number, and we're kind of talking. We hop on a Zoom meeting a couple weeks later, and we just talk about what goes down and how things work at Biola. And I really enjoyed what he told me. I just thought what his structural foundation was for the team was really nice. And then I reached out to a couple other coaches, and things just didn't work out. And in the end, after I went to go on an overnight visit with the Biola team, I got to spend time with the team, look at the facility, and just all these things. I decided that Biola was the place for me.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, let's say if it wasn't for Biola, where would you be? Where would you think you would attend school? Where was what's
without
your
water
school?
polo?
I'm saying like without like in general.
Yeah.
Like, what's your dream school to go to, water polo or not?
With water polo or not, definitely one of the top UCs like UCI, UCSB, UCSD.
Okay.
Something by the ocean. You know, I've kind of grew up by the ocean my whole life with my family.
Big beach guy, eh?
Yeah. You know, I love the ocean. Love the ocean. But somewhere, you know, near the beach, you know, I'd love to play water polo there. It's D1. You know, definitely a bit difficult, but also something that came into my decision making for schools was I want to be able to play. I don't want to ride the bench. You know, if I'm going to spend my last 4 years of playing, I want to be able to play.
Mm-hmm. I have a question for you, actually. Let me tell me about this, because I know we've kind of talked about this a little bit, but I know you told me the rules are, because, you know, we're so used to the basketball, like D3 tournament, D2 tournament, D1 tournament. I know you said you guys play a lot of D1 games, and even in the playoffs, like, you'll go up against D1 teams. Like, how does that work?
So what works, we'll have like a kind of like preseason, like before the conference, where we're going against a bunch of Division I teams. We're like probably around 10 to 12 Division I teams where, you know, we're kind of just battling it out. But once it comes to our conference finals, with who's in our conference, you know, you have Concordia University, Salem, McHenry, Fresno Pacific University, just a bunch of Division II schools, and the winner of these schools goes into this, you know, Division I tournament where it's, you know, it's just, you know, this kind of lonesome Division II school going against, you know, like the first seed of this Division I tournament, which is, you know, I wouldn't really say it's the most fair because, you know, from like past years, it's usually like these D2 teams going against the Big Four, Stanford, USC, UCLA, and Berkeley.
So it's like a whole tournament for all divisions, basically. That's how kind of
almost all
divisions.
It's just the D1 teams, but it's that Division II team that wins gets that, you know, that bid in.
All right. So how do you approach playing such high competition? Like, I know you said you guys are forced to play against like big schools like Stanford, UCLA. Like, how do you approach games like that?
Is it like a different like mindset? Like, cause like for us in basketball, if we're playing like a top seed team, we're in the gym like training, like waiting for that game, like we waited for the whole season. Like, is that for y'all? Like, if y'all have like a D1 like lined up, are y'all like waiting for that game, like to give it 100, or is it just
so
like
if we have our schedule already, you know, like Pepperdine and UCSD are one of our first games. I'm not really too focused on those games. You know, about this is obviously you want to win as many games as you can, but you know what's my main focus is the conference finals.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of looking more at these D2 schools about how we're gonna win our conference, and this is kind of like the pre-conference games. Not too much of a big worry.
Okay.
They're Division I teams, so they obviously got the best of the best.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't say we change our practice regimen based on these Division I teams.
So it's almost just like you're using these, like, I mean, this is something we do. Like you said, you played with college guys. Like, when I train, when Daryl trains, we try to play with the best people we can. We're playing with college guys, and then we go back to play with high school. Like, in a way, that's kind of what you're doing. It's like a training type thing. Is that how you approach it?
Yeah. You know, I use them kind of as a way to get better.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if we're going against these top Division I teams, I know I want to use this as a way to get better. I want to study them in game. I want to see what I could beat them as, and it's helpful.
Yeah. I would say, like, looking at games and stuff, water polo, I know it's, like, a really intense sport. Like, you got people pushing you, dragging you, just from what I've heard. Like,
it's different physicality-wise compared to basketball.
How do you, like, turn that switch of, like, going from so intense on the – well, not on the court, but in the pool? Like, how do you kind of flip that switch to be so aggressive?
That's a good question. When I'm inside of the pool, I just, you know, my main focus is how I can beat this guy physically and mentally. You know, there's a lot of talking that goes on, and I'm sure there's a lot of talking that goes on in basketball.
Yeah.
You know, it's just what you could get away with. And it's just when I get in that pool, it's game time, where I have to be going all out. You know, it's no messing around, where I'm pushing the limits of how aggressive I could get without getting, you know, kicked out of the game or getting called.
Yeah.
Right. And are you like that type of like guy, like stingy wise, like would you go like for example Kobe, like when he was playing like what would you say Team USA?
Yeah, and
he's playing in different teams. He's talking in different languages. He's learning like because like he wanted that bad. He wanted to get in their head that bad. He took the time like to learn their language. Are you like the type of guy to like go like day before, a week before, and like really like do a deep dive on your like players and see like what can really get to them mentally?
You know, I think with Kobe about how, you know, he used to kind of just study the language before. I think that's a certain level. I think you can get away with a lot more talking in basketball with the arena being so much more full, just a lot more loud sounds. But I wouldn't go as far as to learn another language or like just a way to get in people's heads. But I definitely like to study game film.
Mm-hmm.
Like Concordia will be a very big game this year.
Yeah.
And I've definitely been watching a lot of Concordia film on, I've recognized some incoming freshmen there and some past players, and I want to immediately find some weaknesses where I can take advantage of.
And is it like the thing, like when you're like doing film study, are you like watching like, all right, for example, like when we're watching film, we're obviously watching like who we're going to guard and like how to like help. Like, is that the same thing for water polo?
Yeah, is there like is there matchups?
Are you watching film on matchups? Because I feel like it's more like I feel like water polo is more like of a zone type of defense, like soccer almost.
Yeah. What Biola coach is really enforcing is that it's not water polo is not no more a positional kind of sport. It's where if you're going in the water, you can play at every position.
Right.
So I'm looking at all the players, but what I'm really focusing on is kind of the perimeter, the outside of the pool, not the guys closer to the cage, because that's not really my responsibility as a wing player on the outside. But if I'm put in the center, then I'm glad I'm confident in myself because I've studied film on these certain players. But yeah, water polo could be more of a zone sport, but you could go to full press because that's always what you want is a full press. But yeah, I think game film is a really big thing.
A big thing I feel like I hear about a lot is like preparation is what builds confidence. Like,
no, absolutely.
If you struggle with confidence a lot of times, and I feel like we've all dealt with it as athletes, but when you're prepared, when you're doing like you're talking about Concordia, that game's a long time away, but you're already getting ready now because it's going to be a big thing. Like that, I feel like that's just something that definitely builds confidence.
No, absolutely. And I want to go into that game feeling confident, where I can recognize a player, I can immediately recognize a weakness.
Right. And have there been times like, let's say like, because I know I've had times where if I'm losing confidence in myself and I'm really thinking like, dang, am I really like built for this sport? Am I really like gonna like doing like what it takes to make it to the next level? Have you ever been there with water polo?
No, absolutely. That's another thing about sports in general. Sports is not just a physical thing. It's definitely a big mental thing. I know there's many athletes that have quit their sports just because like coaches, not being able to push through the mental state and just stuff like that. I think mental is a very big part of the game, and I've definitely gone through some parts where I feel like I don't deserve to be in the spot I am. But the reason I am in the spot where I'm going to the Division II to play is because I have the skills. I've pushed and I've wanted it more than other players that don't have this opportunity.
So like that self-talk, would you say that's what gets you out of it, or like what strategies do you use?
No, absolutely self-talk, and I have game film of myself. I like looking at good clips of myself where I'm feeling my best, and I just gotta go back into that flow state where I'm not just like I'm all down, like I'm not playing my best. Everybody goes through bad games. Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, LeBron James, we all go through bad games. No matter if you're the best player in the world, you're always going to go through a bad game. And if you're in like a bad spot where it's just like a week or 2 weeks where you're just not playing your best, how you're going to get through it is just mentally. And you just, this is just a small spot where you have like this long time.
Yeah, that's a big thing I do too. And I feel like that you just got to keep that confidence in yourself. Like speaking on that kind of topic, like you're going in as a freshman, incoming freshman. Obviously, you're looking to get a lot of minutes if you can.
Yeah.
You're going to obviously one of the top D2s in the country for water polo, but we've talked about like you're playing against 20-something-year-olds, like all these really guys who are really strong. Like, what's your approach for trying to get minutes as an incoming freshman?
My goal as this incoming freshman is to first make the travel roster. There's about 25 to 28 players on this team, and only 18 are allowed to go travel. And we'll be playing in this in a tournament in Colorado and a tournament in Boston. And my goal is to make that roster. And then my second goal is to be able to make an impact on the team where my coach is confident in putting me in, and I'm not just another role player. I'm someone who, could lead the team, not just, listening to my title as a freshman. I'm being recruited for a reason. And my third goal is to make the conference team where, we'll be playing in the conference. Only, I think, 16 players are allowed to be playing.
Okay.
And like, what are you doing off the pool or like out the pool to like get to like and really get to your goals? Like, are you putting in the work like in the weight room, like the minute we talked about last time, the minutes game? Are you putting in like, more minutes than people on your team, or is
no? Absolutely, I know that I definitely have teammates that are in the gym, but I've been going to the gym every morning. with you guys.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been getting a serious lift in. And just, I think lifting, eating, and studying game film is what's really setting me apart from others.
We kind of talked about this, too, how, like, me and Daryl were talking about the minutes game, but also, like, the effort. Like, when we're in the gym, you see we're going failure, we're going as hard as we can, like, versus someone going through the motions. Oh, they got their lift in. But, like, the thing that separates people, I feel like, is effort, and I know that's a big thing you
No, absolutely,
take
and
pride
that's something that, we strive in, I feel like. That's
Mhm.
something that we could bring to the gym is effort, where we're accountable for each other.
Yeah.
If it's one of us, we know that one of us aren't going all out. We're going to get on each other.
Yeah.
That's something where, it's nice where you can have people around you.
100%.
Biola being a private university, like, what are you planning to go out and study when you're out there?
I plan on majoring in business.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that like something you've been thinking about throughout high school, or did it just come to you like recently?
It came to me recently, more recently that my dad has started his own company, printing and mailing
Okay.
company, and I feel like if I major in business, I could be a big help.
So you'd be like, okay, so it's like a Dunder Mifflin type of thing. You're like trying to,
Bro, I love that show. Why are you laughing? You're
it's a great
no.
show.
All right, we're going to cut
Good
this
show.
out. Stop talking about Dunder Mifflin.
We can keep that in.
Stop talking about
What's so
Dunder-
wrong? I said you're trying to build like a Dunder Mifflin type of company. Like, what's
All
wrong
right,
about that?
Keep it.
Dude, I don't know
I
what's
mean,
so
they're an
wrong.
extremely successful paper
No,
company.
okay, we're
Dude,
going to
they
add
are.
bloopers in the end.
They're pretty. They're successful.
Dunder Mifflin? Shut up. What do you mean you're being serious? That's a show.
What's so wrong? Are they not a successful paper company?
Okay, ready? 3.
I'm good.
Okay,
That was
okay,
like
nah.
said that
Yeah, don't
serious
cut
without
that.
All
laughing.
right,
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
So, if you had to compare yourself, would you say your dad is like someone you look up to? Like sort of a Michael Scott in your life?
No, absolutely. I feel like my dad is someone I could consider as like a hero,
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
someone who I look up to. He taught me to be the man I am today. And one thing I learned growing up was to be a gentleman, and how being someone who's as like remembered as someone who's super nice, how far that could bring you. So I definitely say like my dad is someone that I look up to.
On the topic of like student athlete and what you're studying and stuff, like how important was academics in your decision to go to college? And like I know you talked about business, but like that's not a super common major for athletes. I know a lot of
That's true.
athletes that I've seen when I've looked up rosters and stuff, it's like, oh, it's all the same stuff. It's all communications, or like they're going for easy stuff so they can focus. But like what was
Right.
your approach?
No, absolutely. I think one big thing was applying to Biola made sure they had business.
Mm-hmm.
And just how good their business school is, and how just looking at business alumni, just any alumni that went to Biola that majored in business are just going to help me with connections.
Mm-hmm.
And I definitely found some, and I just thought Biola was definitely a good school, good alumni, and their business school is great.
So like I can tell, your work ethic that you talk about in water polo, like studying film, doing all this stuff, like would you say that helps you in all aspects of life? Because I feel like what you were just saying, like you're looking at people who have done business, you're looking for connections there. Like,
No, absolutely.
how does it
And,
set you up for the rest of your life?
No, it does. And just it all just brings it back to one thing: is how bad do you want it? How
Mhm.
bad are you? How far are you willing to go?
Okay, Ryder, so just one last question. We don't want to keep you too long here, but this is something, me and Daryl talked about. We're going to ask, obviously this is second episode on the podcast, but we're going to ask to each guest we have on here, because I feel like it's a good thing to talk about overall. But if you could give one word of advice to people watching, people maybe in similar situations, on this podcast, on Pull Up, we always try to talk about bettering yourself, striving for, what you can. Like, what's the one word of advice you would give people?
My one word of advice would definitely be dedication, and it's just how bad do you want it. And you two are great examples. You never stop wanting it. You always push me in the gym. You always push me outside. There's all these things where I could easily just fall behind and just relax, but no, it's all about dedication and how bad are you willing to go.
Thank you, Ryder. Appreciate your time.
Absolutely.
Wait,
Thank you guys.
I got one last thing,
Oh,
Ryder.
all right.
All right. If you were a cartoon character, what would you say you would be?
All right,
a
a
great
little
question.
fun question. We gotta have some
that's
fun
a
on
great
here.
question.
What would
I
you
think,
be? What would you be like in the pool? Like, are you like a like?
I think I'm SpongeBob. I
are
give
you
myself
like a
SpongeBob.
You're like a crazy guy in the pool.
No, I think I'm SpongeBob.
Because okay,
I'd give
think
myself
about this
SpongeBob.
though.
Like, there's a lot.
Think about
there's lots
people
of
watching.
crazy,
This is serious.
This is a serious question.
SpongeBob, he gets stuff
He
done.
gets, no, it's
in
true.
the end.
He's
No, absolutely.
been employed
Right.
of the month how many times at the Krusty
I
Krab?
think it was
I-
it was a long time.
Look, and think about, like you talked about dedication, never giving up. SpongeBob was
never-
waiting for that promotion.
and he got it.
He got it.
I mean, Squidward got it, but then Mr.
But then-
Krabs realized like
yeah.
Squidward is not a hard worker
Yeah.
as SpongeBob.
No, and that's why I'd give myself SpongeBob.
And I think more talking about that, like Squidward was promoted, right?
Was.
And SpongeBob could have been like, "Oh, I'm gonna give up."
No.
He could have given up, but
Never
no,
give up.
he stuck with it, and that's like, seriously,
No,
it's funny, but it's a true example.
Yeah.
It's true.
He stuck with it, and
Yeah.
that's what it's all
Now
about.
let me ask you guys, how would you describe yourself as a cartoon character?
Okay,
Dude, I'm
we're
like-
getting a question.
Okay,
All right.
I'm trying. That's a good question.
Honestly, if I had to say one cartoon character, I would give myself Thomas the Train. And
Thomas the
before
Train, why?
before you laugh, think about this. He's again extremely dedicated. It goes with that thing of perseverance and hard work. When he's going around, you know how much he carries, behind on his back.
Big train.
Yeah, huge train. He's carrying coal, whatever he needs to carry. He's versatile.
Always got a smile on his face.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Right.
And I think that's a big part because it's easy to let the outside world and other stuff affect you when you're on the court, in the pool, whatever. I think it's easy to let that affect you, but if you can keep a good smile on your face, a good attitude through it all, that's the separator. Like we talked about
Yeah.
Squidward, not a good attitude.
Right.
SpongeBob passed them up.
And one thing about Thomas the Train, he's never off track.
Exactly.
Nah, that's true. I like that.
I like. Hey, that's a little joke
good.
there.
Yeah, a little
I like
bit.
that.
He's
All right.
never off track.
Daryl, finish us
I
off.
feel like I'm like more of like a mental toughness kind of thing. I feel like I would give myself Skips.
Skips, absolutely. I love that.
Skips is very mentally tough. I feel
Mhm.
like, and he's like, he just knows everything. He's a very wise guy. He knows how to deal with situations. He knows how to solve things. He's really creative, good IQ. I feel like on the court, I feel like I'm a good facilitator in the post, a good passer, a good shot maker, and yeah, just mentally
Absolutely.
tough.
I love that answer.
You know what I'll say is I think that the difference between normal athletes and athletes that can take their skills to college into different levels is like, for me, I know you guys are probably the same. I try to take something from everything I do. Like
Right.
if I'm going to the grocery store, whatever I'm doing, I'm gonna try to take something that's gonna help me. If I'm watching a cartoon, I'm gonna take a lesson from it. Like Thomas the
Absolutely.
Train, something I watched a lot. I try to take after that. I try to never let stuff affect me on the court. Try to stay positive. Obviously, I play with energy. Sometimes I'm gonna play with aggression, but I feel like taking those lessons over that we learned from Skip, Thomas the Train, SpongeBob, like it's funny, but like it's serious because that can actually help you in life.
It's
No,
true.
absolutely.
It's true.
And Ryder, wanted to thank you for coming out.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Great episode.
Thank you
Thanks
guys.
for making the drive out here.
Episode 2, we'll see you guys.
We-
Episode 3,
we
new
appreciate
guests.
We appreciate you pulling up.
We appreciate you. Some diversity in the sports here,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
peace.